Good evening. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. This is Ashley Live, and this is Vibin with Ashley Live. Tonight's episode is episode 112, and tonight's guest will be singer, songwriter from LA. His name is Jordan Michael. Jordan is a very passionate vocalist, and he is an established vocalist. He sung background for Fantasia, David Foster, Ariana Grande, and countless others. And then in 2019, he joined legendary a cappella group MO5AIC. Who in this chat right now knows MO5AIC and knows Jordan from MO5AIC? Put your hands up, say something, because Jordan is a phenomenal vocalist. And I'm really excited to bring him in the room. And he's going to share a little bit more of his musical journey with us. Hey, guys. Good evening, good evening. Hi, I'm Elisa. Where are you guys tuning in from this evening? And thanks for spending your Saturday night with us, because you could have been anywhere. You could be in bed, you could be at a club, but you decided to hop on here and check out an episode of Vibing with Ashley Live. And I appreciate you guys. So please support good music. Just do it. Just support your favorite musicians. Lovey is from New York. Hey guys. Hello, hello. And Jordan is in the house, and I'm going to bring him on in. Hi, Jordan.
Hey, hi Ashley, what's up? It's good
Not
to
too
see you.
much. How's your weekend going so far?
It's going well, actually. Yeah, I got to reconnect with some friends. I got to do a little bit of singing. My mom got married. It's been,
Oh, yes.
yeah, it's been quite the experience. But yeah, I'm just happy I made it. Yeah,
Yes.
it's been
Well,
fun.
thanks for doing this show with me. I know we've been in contact for some time, and I'm so happy to finally have you on this show. You're going to share some stories with us. You're going to sing for us, and you're
Yeah,
also questions from the audience.
dun dun dun. I know, exciting. Be gentle, be kind, guys. No, I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yes, be kind to Jordan. Jordan is amazing. So,
Please.
Jordan, I start out each show off with a song lyric. Tonight's song lyric is going to be from the one and only Marvin Gaye, What's Going On?
Okay, yeah,
A
that's a great
song you have covered. I'm just
song.
going to say a couple from the song. You're either going to tell me what this song means to you or what Marvin Gaye as an artist means to you. Good?
Okay, yeah.
Let's do it. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply 'cause our hair is long. Oh, you know we've got to find a way to bring some understanding here today.
I mean, powerful, very timely, even though that song is what, how old is that song?
Oh my gosh.
At least,
Old, older than both of us combined.
yeah, I mean, what is it? At least 30 something years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that lyric in and of itself just speaks to, I mean, my own personal experience as a black man, having had a specific perception of me and, people like me and just other, people of color. But I can only speak from my experience. Um, but yeah, just wanting to be free of those perceptions and to just be allowed to live as a human being because I think that's what everybody
Mhm.
wants. And just how awesome, Marvin Gaye inspires me so much because that's just to be a person that can articulate such a human experience in such an artful yet relatable way, both through the lyric and song. Yeah, that's kind of amazing. I would like to do stuff like that, but you know, I'm working on it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we all know Marvin is an incredible songwriter, and his songs have stood the test of time. And I feel like when he wrote them, they were important, but like even present day, they're important
Hmm.
because
Exactly. Yeah.
like, you can definitely identify and just like be kind to people and just what the heck is going on?
I mean, I don't think anybody has answered the question yet, so which is why we still sing it. When we figure it out, we might be able to lay that one to rest. But until then, we're just gonna keep singing it until we get the answer.
Definitely. So I want to start at the very beginning of your life. Wh-
Okay.
did music mean to you as a young child?
Man, music, as a young child, music meant an escape. Music was a place for me to seek refuge in a world that I was like, I don't think that anybody really gets me. I don't necessarily know if I get myself. Things are changing. You know, my family has just a lot of unique experiences with my parents being so young when they had me, and
Hmm.
you know, so growing up in proximity to basically children at the same time. So it was just, you know, it was just a unique experience growing up. And for whatever reason, because nobody in my family really takes music super seriously,
Yeah.
but I just, you know, I just started singing. And when that happened, you know, it was just like my superpower. It was my cape that allowed me to levitate off, you know, and go into my own world.
Hmm.
So that's what it meant then. Now it's still the same thing, but it also means, you know, other things, including paying my rent. But yeah, it's all
Good thing, right?
yeah, it's great. It's so good. But yeah. Yeah, to answer your question, that's what it meant to me when I was a kid, just an escape, an opportunity to just be my own little weird self in my own little weird world. Yeah, I feel comfortable with that.
And what age did you start singing?
Um, oh, my mom would say like when I was a baby. Like she was like, you knew the ABCs before you spoke English. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't believe that. I think she'd be exaggerating sometimes. But if you're watching this, mom, I love you. I'm just kidding. But nah, as far as yeah, we love mom. And congratulations, drop some hearts for my mommy.
Yes.
I think for me, like my earliest memory was watching Whitney Houston Divas Live. I think it was like 95 or 96.
Yes.
And like hearing her sing, I think she sang I Will Always Love You. And I went up to like either my mom or one of my aunts and I was like, look, mom, I can do that. And just like was shaking myself to get the vibrato out and make it sound big like her. But then after that, it was just choirs and you know competitions and studios and yeah, it started really quickly after people around me were like, oh, this guy he can actually do something with it. It just yeah, I got a lot of experiences really quick.
Yeah, that's cool. So tell us about your experience in choirs and what did that mean to you as a musician?
It was just another refuge, just another place where I could dive into this sonic world, you know, and you know, being around people that spoke the same language as me. Like before I started joining choir, I didn't really know that I had like a tribe. Like there were people that you know communicated in the same way and experienced music in the same way that I did, or similar way, because we all do it in a different way. But um, we just it was a similar vibe. And then that ensemble singing, I love when voices come together.
Yes.
And you know, church choirs when I was a kid, and then school choirs also. That was just like that first experience. And you know, as kids, so it wasn't always perfect, but I just loved like, oh, we're all to quote High School Musical. It's just the magnum opus of creativity. We're all in this together. um, yeah, so it just yeah, and I made so many amazing friends in choir too. It was just like this felt like my people. It was like the precursor to what I experience in studios now when I'm doing ensemble singing because it's just a bunch of nerds. It's just a bunch of those weirdos that, you know, would be making noises in the corner, you know,
Yeah.
just trying to do their thing. But in this space, in you know, in this situation, like that's appropriate. In fact, it's encouraged to sing and you know make that noise and contribute to the piece. So yeah, choir definitely got me hooked,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah, it got me hooked so quickly. Like started doing competitions and all that other fun stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I think choir is cool because you do find your people and people like talk about music with you in this section and then you do the harmonies and you kind of feel like you found your people.
hmm Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's something that we all want, especially in our youth. Like we all are looking for our tribe. We're all are looking for somebody to understand us, to be felt and be heard. When you're young, you know, everything is the most important thing. And so when you feel like yeah, when you just feel like nobody gets you, it can be hard. So when I found that
Right.
space, I was like, oh, Thank God, because I was a horrible student.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to find me, you would
Yeah.
find me in the choir room. Like, not in algebra, not in physics. I should have been in there, but it all worked out, so it's
Yeah. I
fine.
honestly have to just follow your passion, and when it's a creative thing that's your passion. Like I wasn't a good student either. Like I actually hated school and I was just like, oh my gosh, this sucks so bad. But I just pushed through and I'm like, I really don't want to be here, but I'm just gonna be here because I have to.
Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of creative people have that experience. I think everybody that's, some sort of musician or creative or writer, anything like regimented instruction is the worst.
Like, no, I'm not gonna be in this class from 10 to 11. Like I just want to do my thing.
Yeah, just let me do my thing. I want to wake up at 10 or 11. Like, step one.
Right.
Let me do
Want to
that.
sleep in. I'm with that.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you were in the Army for 3 years, and I just want to say thank you for your service. Can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what your time in the Army was like and what you learned from that experience?
It was quite the experience. It ran the gamut of positive and negative and extreme and, small.
Mhm.
A lot of the things, so a lot of the biggest lessons that I learned from it was just being able to be self-sufficient and self-reliant and disciplined. And, if I see something that I want, like, don't be afraid to do what I got to do in order to do what I want to do.
Mhm.
And the Army was very much that choice. Only reason I joined the Army was because we didn't have no money to go to college.
Yeah.
And, the U.S. Army did. They were like, GI Bill. So that's why. Also, I just wanted to get out of my mama's house. Love her to death, but I think every, 18. I mean, I was 17 or 18 when I enlisted, so like every 18-year-old just wants to get out and just go do the thing. And I felt like the faster I can do something, the
Mhm.
quicker I could get to the things that I want to do. It was really tough though because like I didn't sing at all in basic training. That was like almost a year. So just going that long without any kind of like not even a peep. Like I just really, I mean, of course, here and there I was still away and, but like it just wasn't the time or place for me to be that version of myself. So
Right.
that was hard because there were times, like I said, when you're young, you think everything's the end of the world. So there were times I was like, am I ever going to sing again? Am I just going to be the Army forever? But circumstances changed for me, and thankfully, I was able to get an honorable discharge and follow my passions and go to performing arts school. And
Mhm.
I wouldn't be able to do that had I not joined the Army. And there were a lot of moments in my life where the perseverance and the discipline to just get it done.
Yeah.
Um, because a lot of artists, as much as we don't like to admit it, we can be a little lazy, So I think that definitely gave me, the push to be like, even if I'm not feeling it, just go for it, because you never know. You just really never know.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And I think being in the Army with the discipline and the perseverance, it's like, you're right. It's like sometimes you wake up and you're like, oh, I don't think I'm feeling it today. And you're like, no, I'm just going to go for it.
hmm yeah,
Hmm.
for sure. And it's not always successful. Sometimes you go for it and it's like, I might have, should have not, but you just really have to give yourself that chance and take a chance on yourself. That's the same thing in music. Like I spent a lot of time, serving other people's visions and not really doing the things that I was passionate about.
Yeah.
And in a roundabout way, due to everybody's gap year that we had in 2020, I was able to refocus some energy toward myself and like actually do things that I wanted to do and tell the stories I wanted to tell. And yeah, I wouldn't have that if I didn't get that skill set from the Army of just, having some crazy guy screaming at me at 5 a.m. to
Yeah.
get your ass up. So I think, yeah, it definitely served a purpose.
Yeah.
Teenage Jordan might be over it still, but I get
No,
it.
I totally get it. Like
Adult Jordan.
he's yelling at you at 5 a.m., not at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
5
Yeah.
a.m. is too early.
It's way too early. And then you're telling me to do push-ups, like, it's a lot. But it's fine. we survived, and that's the most important part. And I much respect to every single soldier, every single veteran, in all branches of the military. Some people do it because they want to, some people do it because they have to. But at the end of the day, it's a choice where you are giving so much of yourself to such a big, something that's so much bigger than yourself.
Right.
So I think that that is an admirable decision, no matter what the motivation is, because a lot of people don't come back. A lot of people go into that, with dreams and aspirations, and it does not always turn out that way. And living in Los Angeles, you see so many of those people. So I just, while I'm here now, so every single person that has ever served, or serving, or knows somebody that has served, I love y'all and thank you for what y'all do. So
Yes, thank you to our troops. You guys are the heroes, the true heroes.
hmm absolutely.
So let's bring it back to music. Tell me what musicians inspire you, Jordan.
Ooh, okay. So the first two that always pop into my head, vocally
Yep.
is, and I think I might have told you this, was Brandy.
Yep.
Hands down, first and foremost, Brandy Norwood. It's just one of my favorite voices. She's one of the most nuanced voices. It has so much character, so much agility, so much beauty. Like there's youth, yeah. And don't get me started on Brandy.
Yes.
uh, yeah, she's just my favorite. And then as far as musicianship and writing is Frank Ocean.
Mhm.
I really respect just his point of view, just as a black queer person
Mhm.
that and that speaks for my generation, and is not afraid to express himself
Mhm.
and set trends and not try to conform to them.
Yep.
That's one of the most trendy things you can do is be yourself, and I think that he has been a huge example of that for me.
Yeah.
And not, of course, like there have been so many other artists that have come before him that have taken upon that mantle and done amazing things with it. One of my favorites would be Prince, who I share a birthday with. He's
Oh, wow.
all my Geminis out there. Yeah, so like, of course, there are artists like that, but just the first names that came to my mind were Brandy and Frank Ocean. But I love any kind of voice. I'm a voice nerd.
Yeah.
I can listen to them all. I can listen to Andrea Bocelli, and then
Mhm.
I can listen to Mahalia Jackson. Like it really, and then throw a little Steven Tyler in there, and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Like it really, you know, could be anything.
Yeah. I like that you have such an affinity for people who sing. Like, and it doesn't
Mhm.
really matter like what genre of music it is. It's just like you hear a voice and you're like, "Yep, that's it, right there."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they resonate. It's the original instrument. It's the thing that you use to gauge the sound of other things.
Hmm.
So and people use it all the time. So it's like a thumbprint. Everybody has their own unique signature, and just the way that somebody can emote and use those two little tiny vocal folds that are thinner than pieces of paper to create such magical pieces of art. And like, come on, like I'm so into it. Like I could go on about it all day.
Yes, I love that. So I
Mhm.
want to bring it back to Brandy because Brandy is coming out with a new show. I feel like you know this. Queen.
Queens, yeah, of course.
The previews for this, they look so awesome.
Yeah, I'm just happy that she's coming back to TV.
Yes.
We've got that recent album, B7. I know every song by heart. I covered a song from it called Borderline.
Yes.
Like, yeah, Brandy is just I'm so excited. And she's been working with so many incredible artists. She's done collaborations with Amorphous and Eric Bellinger and Tiwa Savage. So it's just so cool to see this resurgence and this newfound respect that we should have put on her a long time ago. Just as far as contemporary vocals and like what people want to sound like in the studio, yeah, she just set the tone for me.
Yeah.
So,
She is so phenomenal, and I love how her career has stood the test of time. Like, remember when she first came out, like, and she was really young, and she kind of looks
yeah,
the same. Like, she does not age, and her voice just gets better and better and better with time. And I am
Mhm.
so excited for Queens, and I feel like you are too.
Of course, yeah. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see the show. I just want to, honestly, what I want, I'm ready for her to go on tour because, like, I'm just trying to be in the front row and scream like a little girl. Like, that would be, that's my dream. Like, that's my goal. If we could top off 2021 with a Brandy concert so that Jordan can fan out and cry and pass out, that would be good for me.
Or how about this? You sing background for her.
I mean, y'all would have to mop me up off the floor. And then while I'm being mopped, I'm gonna, send her an original song and be like, "Do you want to jump on this? Like, do you want to
Yes.
collaborate?" Like, honestly, like that would be a dream come true if I could collaborate with Brandy. That would be, or Frank Ocean. Either one of those people, I'd be good to go. Or yeah.
Yes. Oh, I can definitely see that. And I feel like when we talk about it, we manifest it. And we're
Hmm.
like, Jordan, you're going to be singing with Brandy, whether it's background, whether it's collab, whether it's like
Or
you find something.
tag her. Tag her. Come on.
Yes. Everybody who's in this chat right now, tag her because we need her to know who Jordan is.
Please and thank you.
Yes.
No, she needs to know. It would, yeah, she deserves to know.
She has to know.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about you moving to LA.
Uh-huh.
Why did you move to LA originally?
Why did I move to LA? I mean, cause I just wanted to sing and get out of my mom's house. Like I just wanted to get out there. LA was just it's just one of those cities. Like it was LA or New York, and I didn't want to be in the cold. So I was like, LA's for me. And then when I got here, between the like being somewhat in and out of the army and then going to college, meeting some amazing friends, one of which is an amazing artist named Teza, who
Mhm.
just jumped in the chat. Y'all
Oh,
should check her out. Yeah, that's one of the first friends I made when I moved to LA. Like I walked into my first acting class on day one, and she was like, "Hi." We've been friends ever since. We talk almost every day. But yeah, just moving to LA, meeting even more people that were in my tribe and had even more defined visions and aspirations and goals for themselves. Like I needed to be in that environment. I needed to put myself in a place. Not that Dallas didn't have its own creative scene, but LA is just such an extreme, it's at the top level. And
yeah.
I needed to come here. I needed to fail. I needed to make mistakes. I needed to get messy, and I needed to sharpen my skills. So that's why I came.
Mhm. I like that you said fail. Want to know why? Because when people move to LA or New York from a different city, it's like they just put it all on the line. They say, "Hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do my craft, and I'm just gonna like get into it." And I think a lot of people are afraid to fail, but like I
Yeah,
said it because it's kind of like you're gonna have these ups and downs, and it's just how you deal with it. And
exactly.
as a musician, it's a lot of ups and downs, and sometimes it's more downs than it is ups.
Yeah, it's usually like 10 downs per one up. I think is the exact math. Nah. But seriously though, it is one of those things where you just have to embrace it. You have to embrace imperfection. You have to embrace the fact that you're human and you're working with humans, and you're trying to do this ethereal thing where you're snatching notes and
Yeah.
timing out of thin air and trying to put it all together. Not everybody is going to have a seat at the table. Not everybody is going to have their idea picked. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the one that we go with is not going to be the greatest. Like there are so many things that you have to just be prepared for and just open and willing to experience in order to experience the success, in order to feel like you've accomplished something. And it has been a long road. These are lessons that I'm still learning today, where it's like, yo, you just got to be okay with you. You just have to, and then everything around you, the universe will bend. The moment that you start being unokay, like, and start trying to force it, the momentum just kind of slows up for you. And, I've learned that in the moments that I just embrace me, and I trust me, trust the guidance that's been given to me by the people around me, I have a good judge of character, so I have to trust them. Like, just move. Sing
Yeah.
the song. Sing the song.
if you can't sing, because some people in this chat probably can't sing, just put on a good song.
Yeah, all right, put on a good song. I mean, sing the song is just that's like metaphorical.
Yeah.
If you are a surgeon and your job is to sniff the thing, sing the song. Just go in there and let it out because that's where you should. In those moments where you're just like, oh,
Yes.
let it go.
Gotta let it go.
Let it go. And let whatever happens happen. Whatever is for you is for you.
I agree with that because I think sometimes in those times where you're at your lowest, right? Or you go through something difficult and you're like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? It's like maybe you can't see it in the time right now, but like 3 or 4 months from now, it'll make sense why we went through that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Or 3 or 4 years from now. There are still things that I went through where I was like, but why?
Right.
But it's okay because as long as you're here and still able to ask the question, then you still got time to figure it out.
Yes.
And yeah, it's the same thing with music. Like as long as you're still here, you're still working, and you're still actively tapping into your instrument, and hungry for you know evolution and development, like you're in a good spot. Keep your eyes and ears open and sing the song.
Yes. And enjoy the journey too. Because, like
Yeah,
I said, you got to enjoy the journey. We all have these goals that we have, and we're like, oh, we'll be happy when we get there. But it's like, no, you got to enjoy the right here, right now, whatever state you're in, and like just enjoy it every day.
exactly. Yeah, because there are just so many things to be grateful for.
Yes.
So
Yes.
many things. So, and I know it's hard. It's hard for us to get into that headspace, but
Yeah.
just try to embrace it.
Yeah. Completely. Embrace it. Embrace the journey and embrace the good times and the bad because we all have them. We're going to continue to have them. So just learn how to deal with it in a positive and healthy manner.
Exactly.
So you've been in LA now about 10 years, yeah?
Yeah, aging myself, dating myself.
Okay, so what do you enjoy most about being in LA?
LA gives you the opportunity to make yourself who and whatever you want to be. There are so many places where the culture defines who you are, but the culture here is do you for the most part,
Yeah.
as long as you ain't hurt nobody. Like, be yourself, do what you want to do, be as weird as you want to be, and you know, if enough people like it, you might you never know what'll happen. Like that's I don't know very many cities where something like that can happen, where you have the opportunity to be yourself and yourself becomes a worldwide trend.
Yeah.
LA is very unique in that experience which is why so many people come here, um, because they want to be that one. It's just the truth. It just draws that energy. It draws people's willingness to try anything and just go for it. And I love the creative aspect about the city because it's just like this place revolves around creativity. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a big machine, but at the end of the day, for artists to be able to create and to contribute and to be heard and seen and represented and for more opportunities for different types of people to be able to be created and be expressed. Like I love being around that kind of energy because it inspires and motivates me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me a little tingle. I want to do a little dance and I want to be a part of it. So, yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about with the energy because I feel that way in New York. Like when I walk down the street in New York and I know like everyone is like, maybe we're not all trying to do the same exact thing, but like you have people in your life that are creative and have major goals and that's why they've moved to LA or New York. And it's so fun having those creative conversations and like watching your friends win and like it's just so cool with that whole energy thing.
Yeah, I mean, and it translates to like me directly, like my music, like those experiences.
Yeah.
I write about those, the melodies, the sounds that people gravitate to hear, the different artists that set precedents. And of course, like you want to be able to be unique, but there's also something to listening to what's popular, having an understanding of like why is this popular? Why do people like this? Why is this something that maybe because I didn't think about it doesn't mean that it's something that I can't try for myself and experience and learn and grow from. And LA, again, I've just been blessed enough to be around like so many really cool artists to
Yeah.
be like somewhat of a catalyst to, take in some of their energy and mix it in with my own and then produce something brand new, not like it's not stealing. It's almost like an internal collaboration. Like why not take a little bit of all of the great things from the great people that are around you and put it out so that they can do the same thing.
Yeah, I think
That's what LA has done for me. Like
yeah,
that's yeah.
that's so cool. I like what you said about like taking things from different people, not stealing them, but like taking
Hmm.
them because you could kind of learn something from everybody and be like, oh, I might not do it exactly the same way that they're doing it, but I'm putting my own spin on it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And I will add every one of y'all because I can see a couple of my friends in there. Aubrey is another amazing vocalist.
Yeah.
Um, and so I just so that's why I'm like. Yeah, I would give credit where credit is due because it's definitely deserved. They're just, I'm lucky.
Yeah. I love that. So you are also an accomplished background singer. You've sung with Ariana Grande, David Foster, Childish Gambino, Fantasia, and like tons of other people. So do you
Mm.
have a cool story that you want to share with us about being a background vocalist that like sticks with you?
Man, there are so many. It's just, from like I remember one of my first major sessions working with Bette Midler. It was
Hmm.
like after she sang at the Oscars and she like did like her little arm thing that she did. It was so iconic, and I was like, dude, like this is Hocus Pocus. Being when working with Fantasia and like being yeah, it was just the studio and being a Ron Fair studio and just all the platinum plaques from Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and we're singing gospel and we all catching the spirit and Fantasia was like, hold on y'all, let me finish this take and then we so like just having those kinds of human like beautiful moments with people that is just like I idolize, I respect. I'm like just I'm a full fan of voices. So when I'm around greatness, I just I freak out. But when you're able to connect with somebody on a human level like that, it's so awesome. Or seeing artists that are so nervous and so reserved and like they're scared
Mhm.
of you almost. Like it's yeah, it's just so interesting to get a peek behind the curtain because when you're a fan of something, you don't always understand what goes into the creative process. So me as a supporting vocalist, being able to lend my talents on something, but also see other talents at work to see
Yep.
how something all comes like working with Childish Gambino and being in a room with 40 singers to create like one like a very specific sound and like he's like this big and standing in the control room. It was just like all of this stuff is happening around you, but my job is to I gotta sing the song, sing the song. And like it's just, as long as I do my job, as long as I do that thing, everything around me is gonna be just fine. As
Mhm.
long as we all have that mindset. But yeah, I don't know. I have so many different like I was we did a Trevor Live, the Trevor Project with which works closely with queer youth.
Mhm.
And just singing background for Sia and then being in the back and just minding my own business and singing. Then Amber Riley from Glee, she hears me singing and then we do like a little it's just like really cool stuff like that where it's like I listen to you. Like I study, I have tried runs that you have done and I have failed. Or I've succeeded and I've worked it into a song, like I get yeah, or singing background on American Idol, and during the rehearsal, we sang background for Yolanda freaking Adams, who was gospel royalty, and her voice is just like and telling her, like my my grandma, she told me she was like, tell her I said hi, and I told her that. I get to do stuff like that, like relaying messages for my grandma. It's so embarrassing, but I'm down because I'm here, and I got the chance. So. Um, yeah, Capitol Records being in a place that's so iconic, just because of the music that's come from that place, and the history with Nat King Cole, and just all of that, and how that kind of built that little section of LA and Hollywood.
Mhm.
Like, it's just so cool to be in that, you know, just to feel the air, like, you know, to be in a room where Michael Jackson is recorded, it's like, you know, like those are the things that I've always dreamt of and, you know, wanted to be a part of. So, you know, even saying it out loud, I feel like kind of embarrassed, and also just like, really, is, you know, is that the kind of stuff that I've gotten to do over, you know, the time that I've been here? Like, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool when you say it out loud because like you know everything you've done, but then when you
Hmm.
say it out loud, you're like, whoa, wait, that's me.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit of a pinch me moment for a lot of the things because it's like Barbra Streisand, and like, you know, David Foster is like, come
Yeah,
on, you know, these are people who have changed the world. You know, there's people who have literally changed the world with, you know, the things that they've created, and I'm so inspired by that. It's something that I want to do for myself.
right.
Um, so to be able to soak up some of that energy, to, you know, share some of the same air, like
Yeah.
I'm very into that. I'm
But
super into it.
yeah, when you talked about energy earlier, and then you're like,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm in the same room as David Foster or Ariana Grande or Childish Gambino, and it's like, what? Like,
Yeah.
awesome.
Hmm. Exactly. It's like just
So,
looking at my iPad or my iPod and being like, oh yeah, I'm, I'm just hanging out with my playlist. It's no big deal.
that's very cool. So,
Um,
I guess for people who are singers, what advice would you give them to become a background vocalist and sing with people that they idolize?
oh man, I mean, honestly, there are just there are a few ways to do it. First of all, just sing constantly. Just be a vessel for music, and just be prepared.
Yeah.
Like, I sing all the time, so, you know, I can't really be like, oh, practice for 30 minutes a day, or, you know, whatever. But like, just be in touch with your instrument. Be open, be versatile. You know, listen to different styles. Try and imitate different genres. You know, listen to a country song, listen to a classical song, listen to rock, and see how those things fit on you. Can you because I've been blessed enough to sing in all of those genres and more, just because I've just been so you know, I've just been so adamant on, like, I just want to soak up as much vocalness as I can.
Yeah.
And then don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Record yourself at home. Get used to knowing what you sound like on a
Mhm.
recorded vocal, because it is totally different from, you know, what we're hearing in our ears. Yeah, your voice just sounds differently on the outside than it does on the inside, which is why there's technique, so that you're not relying on what you're hearing as you're making a sound, and more so about what you're experiencing.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, put some covers out there. Don't be afraid to use a couple hashtags and get on. You know, I've had my struggles where sometimes I'm like flooding the internet with covers, and then other times I'm just like, I don't want to do this. But at
Yeah.
the same time, you know, it's good to be able to put yourself out there and, you know, let your peers see it, let strangers see it, because you're gonna have to if you want if you want to be in that industry. Um, I Google is your friend. One of the most amazing connects that I ever made came through a Google search. I
Mhm.
was living in somebody's living room after college, and I had nothing to do with my life, and I was like, who vocal contractors
Mhm.
in Google. First name that popped up was a man by the name of Tim Davis, who was amazing, and he has changed so many lives. He has worked on so many projects. Pretty much every one of those background sessions that we named was through him, just because of how connected he is.
Yeah.
And he's just that guy when it comes to finding singers and putting them where they need to be.
Mhm.
I sent him a message at 2:30 in the morning, and I was like, "Hey, my name is Jordan. I ain't got no job, I ain't got no money, but I can sing." You know, basically, you know. And I sent him some links to me singing, and he hit me up the next day and was like, you know, this is a free gig. You'll be singing behind Adam Lambert and Sia.
Wow.
And, yeah, but, you know, if you do well on this, we'll see how it goes. And sometimes you just got to take a chance. Sometimes you just got to.
Mhm.
Google is your friend. I'm telling you. That That thing changed my life. Seriously.
You Googled him, then you cold emailed him and said, "Hey, I'm Jordan. Here are a couple links," and then
Yeah.
he you
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's just one of those things where it's like, just take a chance on yourself because you never know. You just
Right.
never know what's going to come back to you as a reward. We give ourselves to so many other things but ourselves throughout our lives. So,
Mhm.
like, you definitely deserve to do that for yourself.
Yeah, that actually takes balls, and I don't feel like a lot of people would do that, especially at 2:30 in the morning. You know what I mean?
I was desperate, like I was not courageous, but it was just one of those things where I was like, I have to try something. Like I've got to. Otherwise, I'm gonna just be here. And yeah, for anybody that's ever just felt that, just go for it. Just go forth and sing the freaking song. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
telling you.
I love that. That's so inspiring. I think a lot of people hear that because a lot of people just like I just don't know a lot of people that would cold email somebody like that, and I give you mad props for that because maybe he would have never responded, but guess what? He did respond, and it like positive came out of it,
And
and
it
that's
changed it changed my life. Like it actually
that's
changed my life.
oh, that's an awesome story to share. I appreciate you letting
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, of course. Like if it can help somebody to just, go for it, like do that thing.
Mhm. So obviously, you've had some crazy experiences in the music industry. What's one of the most memorable times in your career that you've had?
Mm, oh man. I mean, I just had like just a bunch of things just flash through my head. Um, ooh, I guess one of the most gratifying experiences that I've had was meeting Jordan Fisher
Mhm.
and working with him. He took me on one of my first international gigs, which was going to Japan while he was touring an EP. And yeah, just a stadium tour in Japan is just it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, this is a lot, but I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the experiences because it was just a total culture shock, and just seeing how different cultures receive and appreciate music. That was so shocking to me. Like, Americans, we rowdy. We're rowdy. We scream, we shout, we hoot, we
Yeah.
holler. In the black church, we throw things at you if you sound really good. Yeah, so, but and my church people will attest. Like, if you sound good, duck. Seriously, because the shoe is coming. But yeah, over there, it's like very reserved. It's respectful. Like they don't want to miss a moment. So it was very quiet. Like
Really?
it was very non-reactionary. I mean, except for the moments where you give them explicit permission to make some noise, and then 20,000 people would just scream out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like that's definitely a rush because it's like, whoa, y'all were quiet there for a second, but now I don't have eardrums. But yeah, those are the experiences where you just don't know what's going to happen when you're on stage, and you learn, you grow, you appreciate, you share. Like that's you just get so much from being on stage from an hour, like for an hour, and then getting on the bullet train,
Yeah.
watching the different architecture and listening to people speak in different languages, and getting to go to the shops and getting to pick up little manga and I'm an anime nerd, so I definitely had my Dragon Ball Z moment. It's very severe, but yeah, like those kind of moments are something that I'll take with me for the rest of my life because it just changed my perspective on the world. It made this big old world, seem like it shrunk it down a little bit more. It just brought me closer to other people, and that's really awesome. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah.
So, how long were you over there with him?
It wasn't long. It was just a couple weeks.
Okay.
So we packed a lot into a small thing, and then we came back and we toured the U.S. and did some major cities here. Um, but yeah, Japan. It like 2 weeks felt like it was going to be a long time, but it was just like, oh my gosh, like it was so quick. because we just did everything. You know, we did so much just authentic sushi and just all the vending machines and McDonald's and all the shrines and the architecture and the artwork. And the streets were so clean. Every toilet has a bidet. It was just like there's so many things. I know it was a weird thing to take away from that place, but it's true. So it was like, y'all, great for you guys. So it was just, yeah, it was one of those things where I just got so much in such a short amount of time. Like I think about it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've seen it, like, I've never been over there, but I've seen it in the lights and the vending machines and the this and the culture and the fashion, and like they're so fashion forward.
Hmm.
They know the trends before they even come over here, if they come over here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild, and it's way more than what you even think it is. Like
Mhm.
when you're there, it's like, oh, oh, like, this is huge. It's crazy. It's so awesome.
Very cool. What's one of your favorite songs to perform and why?
Ooh, uh, mm, man, there are a few. Again, just like just so many songs.
As I know.
I mean, one of the first ones that I thought of was this Frank Ocean song um, called "Self Control,"
Hmm.
and it's just one of those. It's a beautiful guitar ballad about unrequited love and you loving somebody else who is already with somebody, and you're like, "I'll do anything for you, baby. Just keep a place for me. I'll sleep in between." It's just like one of those things where it's just like, "Oh, my heartstrings. I just want to sing and just be emo." Just pull my little bangs to the side and wear all black. Like,
I
it's
love
yeah, it's one of those for me. And then also, and this is a song that I do in my acapella group, Mosaic,
it.
is
Mhm.
"Killing Me Softly," the Fugees version, just because it's got a little bop to it, and the beatboxing with the chords, and it just reminds me of the '90s and that music growing up, and of course that's my era. So
Yes.
listening to that '90s music and that kind of singing definitely informed the way that I sing.
Hmm.
So I love singing that kind of music.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So I know you're big into 90s music. Who from the 90s are you still digging and you like back then?
One of the first albums I ever bought was TLC, Crazy Sexy Cool. It is one of the best albums to have ever been. Dallas Austin did that. Digging
Yes.
on You
Hmm.
is one of my favorite songs. When Chili does that bridge, oh, why do I feel the way I do? And all I can think about is you. What is it in the light that made me fall for you? Do you know why I'm digging on you? It's just like, give me R&B.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Love that. Obviously, Brandy. Obviously, Boys to Men, Brian McKnight.
Hmm.
Um, Babyface put out some great records in the '90s. Tony Braxton put out some good records in the '90s. Whitney put out some good. Mariah, who was like Mariah Carey's one of my idols, just artistically. She's
Yes.
just like, I don't know very many artists who wrote pretty much every hit that they sang.
Hmm.
Mariah Carey is that person, and not to mention her voice has defined a couple of generations.
Definitely.
So there's yeah, Mariah she was everything to me.
Yeah.
And hip hop too, Biggie, Bone Thugs, like it just the '90s just had so much good music. SWV, R&B was just yeah, it was in such a renaissance period, and just like every genre has referenced '90s R&B at this point. There's not a single genre that has not taken something from '90s R&B, be it chords, be it
Right.
song structure, um, the vibe, the 808s, some lyrical content. There's a little bit of, unless, like a classical aria maybe has not borrowed from '90s R&B, but everybody else has. um, So I just love that music, and I'm just so lucky to like that's my actual era, being born in '91. So like I was incubated in that music. One of my
Yes.
one of my mentors, Tony Thompson in the group High Five, he he took me under his wing when I was a kid. This producer Daryl Allenby was one of my father figures growing up, and he produced for people like Busta Rhymes and Janet Jackson and
Mhm.
there's like so many other people, Jamie Foxx, like, yeah, but that kind of music, that '90s, just soul tugging
Yeah.
expression with your voice, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. When you were talking about your 90s influences like TLC and Brandy and SWV and Brian McKnight, I was like, oh my gosh, like, please bring me back to that time when music was
Yeah,
so beautiful and simple and there was no auto tune and people could really sing.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah. And
mean?
autotune is fine, just as long as you know how to use it within the parameters. Don't just go in there and flick it on and just start talking.
Yeah.
Then we're you know, like I don't even hate on autotune. I think because Roger, Zapp and Roger with Computer Love, they were using the vocoder and singing through tubes and shit. So like, but it's a cool sound. It's just when you rely on it too much,
Mhm.
and you don't allow the actual voice to exist beyond it. That's when it becomes like, okay,
Yeah.
what are we doing here? And then even beyond autotune, there's Melodyne, and that is where that's the real kicker. That's the thing I've seen. Yeah, Studio Magic is
Yes. Yeah.
amazing. So I've
Oh,
seen some people go from sounding crazy to amazing,
yeah.
but
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I do a lot of crazy stuff in the studio.
yeah, for sure.
So, talking about real singers, in 2019, you joined legendary a cappella group Mosaic,
I
and all
did
those
at that point.
guys can sing, including yourself.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yes,
What was your question?
a cappella, we need no auto tune. It's literally just you five by yourselves,
Yeah,
killing it vocally. And like,
yeah,
that's so important when
it
people
is.
sing a cappella.
Yeah, my boys are they're extremely talented. Well, they're grown men. Let me not call them boys because they most of them older than me, and I love y'all, but it's true. Yeah, those guys are they're super inspiring to be around. They're consummate musicians. Like their minds, like before you even get to their voices, like their musical minds and their choices and their thought process behind creating a soundscape with just voices. That in and of itself is awesome. Josh is an amazing arranger and vocal producer. And then Heath has an amazing tone. Like he embodies that '90s R&B sound, and it's just so husky and tenery and just so much character. Corwin is just the consummate professional and showman with the musical theater. It's like if Brian McKnight starred on Broadway. Like it's
Mhm.
like that kind of a voice. It's like you can do everything, but you
Yeah.
have just so much poise and class. And then my actual boy Kenny, because I am older than him, our beatboxer, he's world famous and has pioneered so many things in that art form. And it's just so cool to call him my friend and have worked with him. He was the reason why I got into Mosaic. We were in a group called Hunkapella where we took our shirts off. It was a
Oh,
different time. Yeah, that's not happening on this live stream. But yeah, but he joined Mosaic first, and they had a member that chose to move in a different direction with his own career. And when they needed a new guy, they just offhandedly said something to him because he was new to the group too, so they didn't want to freak him out and be like, "We need another guy after just bringing you in." Um, but he was like, "I mean, I think I know him," and I was the guy he thought he knew, and yeah, well, he showed him a video of something that we did years ago. It was like a Genuine song. And yeah, I can see us now. We just look like actual babies. But yeah, it's just so cool that something that we did years before that managed to get me into the group that I'm in now.
yeah.
Which is another reason why people should just keep creating and just keep putting stuff out because you never know who and when and why someone's going to get a hold of it and be like, I think I want that. Like, that's what I want right there. So,
Yeah, that's really cool.
mhm.
So you've been with them for a long time. Where can people find your music? Where can people see you perform live?
For Mosaic, well, I think for everybody, we're all trying to figure out where we're going to perform live. But for Mosaic specifically, we're Royal Caribbean's #1 guest entertaining headlining act. That is a long title for us. We sing songs. We do it really good. They like us. So usually we're out on the big ships. We just got done doing a simulation cruise with Royal Caribbean. We're going back out in the end of November, and then ideally we're going to be back with them regularly for months to come. We're also working on something a little more terrestrial,
Yeah.
potentially in Vegas, but I cannot say too much more about that.
Okay.
That would be a great way to get people to come and see us whenever they want to, instead of
Right.
having to book a cruise and go on an island excursion. Because who wants to do that? Like who wants to go on a cruise ship and see a bunch of Caribbean islands and lay out in the sunshine? Totally discourage everybody from doing that. It's
Yeah.
not good. No, no, do that. Come see us. Please do it before my mom comes to see us because that's going to be the cruise where you'll hear her screaming more than you hear us singing. But
Oh,
yeah, other than she shout out to Jan. But yeah, and here in LA, I'm starting to get back out and just go, to open mics and closed mics because there are certain things. So it's been a while since I performed in LA, honestly.
mhm.
But I'm looking forward to doing it again. Right now, we've just been creating and working on something special. I was supposed to put out something today, but it's okay because we figured out something else to do with it. But yeah, right now we've just been in creative mode. But with Mosaic, you can see us on Instagram and TikTok. It's MO5AIC. The S is 5. If you just spell Mosaic as normal, you're going to wind up in the world of arts and crafts.
Yeah.
And, shout out to them, but that's not what we do. So,
No, no arts and crafts over here.
uh-uh.
So tell all the beautiful people watching right now, how can they follow your musical journey, whether it's as a solo artist, a background artist, or with Mosaic?
My musical journey is documented right here on IG.
Hmm.
I've made a commitment to put things out more consistently, just because so many people have asked. They're so interested. I mean, and even you found me from so it's just like okay, I have to take my own advice and give the people what they want because apparently it's me singing, so I'll do that.
Yes.
So yeah, just stay tuned here. Also on TikTok, we just started doing stuff over there, myself as well as Mosaic, so you can follow us both. Please, because yeah, I want to get the numbers up so I can start doing some cool stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, that's social media, of course, has just been a blessing for people to connect. So right here.
Yeah, right here, all on social media. And I think I love watching musicians sing, even if it's for 10 seconds.
Hmm.
The thing is, sometimes people post like 3 and 4 minute covers, which sometimes I watch and sometimes I don't. But I kind of only watch like the first 10 to 25 seconds. And if it's really good, I stick around. But
Hmm.
yeah, with the whole like posting videos, you only have to do like very small snippets.
Yeah, yeah, that's why TikTok reigns supreme because you just get in and get out.
Def-
So.
Definitely. So, for those people watching right now, how can they support Jordan as a musician? Like, what would you recommend people who want to support you do?
Honestly, just stay tuned.
Okay.
Like when I start putting stuff out and when I'm ready to start actually performing, here in Hollywood, because that's where I'm gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's honestly the best thing that you could possibly do. And just continue to support other artists. Like just we artists have had a very unique experience with the gap year.
Yeah.
Just putting the entire, everything on hold and leaving an entire industry seeming like oh, we don't really know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
So that has been quite a unique experience. Just for people that appreciate art, or if you just know somebody that is in the entertainment industry, just be supportive. If they post something stream it, listen to it, pay the 99 cent. Like it won't hurt, I promise. Like
Yes.
it'll probably be fine. It'll be great, probably. So just take a
Yes.
chance. We take chances. Creative people take chances to give to people, to entertain, to inspire, to, help you while you're grieving, to, create an actual moment for life. So if we could get that kind of energy back, that would be great.
Definitely like, share the music, comment, because sometimes
Mhm.
people like a video or a picture, but they don't comment, but the comment actually means a lot.
Yeah, it's nice to hear from people. Like it's wonderful. Because you know that you actually reach somebody. Like the double tap is greatly appreciated,
Right.
but for somebody to just take out a few seconds just to leave something thoughtful or however they're feeling about it, even if it's constructive criticism, which I've
Yeah.
had before, you know.
No,
So,
I
and
completely
you
agree.
should, and we should be open to that as well.
Definitely.
So I'm totally into it.
Hmm. So 2021 is going to be over in a couple months.
I know.
What stuff do you have coming up, Jordan, that we can look forward to?
More mosaic,
Yes.
more of my music, some things that I'll be. I mean, a lot of this is, I have not taken a foray into being the artist in a long time, not since I was a kid. So it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, it's all of the ings right now. But mostly it's good because it's something that I feel like I kind of have to do in order to continue to feel like a normal person. And I've collaborated and made some incredible music with one of my best friends, who's also a performer. He's on tour with the musical Hamilton. His name is
Hmm.
Brandon Armstrong. He plays Hercules Mulligan in the Anne Peggy tour. So if y'all want to go see, if you want to go see Hamilton on the West Coast and see my best friend beat on his chest, like please go support the boy. No, I cannot get you free tickets. Them things are expensive. I
Yes.
had to pay like everybody else.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's just another way to support artists. But yeah, I was so lucky to, through certain circumstances, wind up living with my best friend, and we haven't. It was so different because we were roommates in college. We were awful roommates in college, great roommates as adults, and
Yes.
managed to create some of the most thought-provoking and inspiring music that I've personally had a hand in, and that's a lot. So I've done a lot of music, and it's weird knowing that it came, from me and somebody that's really close to me. But it's also extremely exciting because it puts a little bit of a battery in my back to like continue to do that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, watch out for me. Watch out for Brandon. Watch out for Mosaic. Watch out for more friends. Tessa Talks, who is another great artist, which is another one of my best friends. Ombre the Great, Duran Bernard, Cameron Wright, Eric Lynn, Chaz Mason, just all like. And
Yes.
please find all of these people because they should all do this.
Yes.
Um,
Hey, we're
and
gonna have to talk after this, and you're gonna send me like a big list.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know all of them, and they all deserve the spotlight. Because they're all special and they inspire me. So yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So that's all the questions that I have for you this evening, but you're gonna perform for us.
I am. Okay, yeah.
Do your thing.
Okay. Um, so the first song that I'm gonna do is I wrote it. I'll actually say the word during the shutdown, during the lockdown. Having experienced, many of us experienced a lot of highs and lows, mostly lows. Um, so did I. I lost a couple family members, not directly related to COVID, but just mental health,
Mhm.
and another one just to old age. And it was my cousin and my grandpa. And it affected me deeply. Both of those men were very close to my heart, very close to my entire family. And so the first song that I'm going to sing, it touches on grief, feels kind of like a downer, but it is, I promise if you hang in there, it's really the story of how I felt those feelings,
Mhm.
accepted the weight of them, and then from there was able to lift up because I was so lucky to have so many people, even if they weren't there in person, to just be able to reach out and call and, just be myself, say how I was feeling, be received, the way that it was intended to be heard. And yeah, like everybody, if you're out there and you need somebody to talk to, you're more than welcome to drop in the DM and let me know. Because, you know, a lot of people don't know that they just, if you need someone to talk to just say it, just go for it. Like, don't be afraid, because somebody is out there for you. So I set this up way over here, so I'm gonna go start this first, and then we'll do it. Okay.
And guys, if you have questions for Jordan, please feel free to hang on to them and he'll take your questions performing. So hang on to those.
Okay. I've never sang this for anybody besides my mom. So here you go. It's difficult to settle grievances, but I ain't really finished grieving yet. The pain that I felt from young William's death, it's only got worse since my grandpa left. No idea how to deal with that. Sleeping forever seems the easiest. At least in my dreams I can see him there. The solace and silence, but that ain't fair to the ones that pull me out. Candles in my darkest hours, keeping me with that low. The tension pulling me about. I can hear my mother now saying it's okay to let it go. And feel that if you hold it in, that good grief will tear you down. Yeah, scream 'cause it hits so different. It come up so it come out. Yeah. Coming up to come out. Coming up to come out. Yeah, yeah. It's coming up. Spent so much time keeping that inside me, afraid to make it a reality. I finally found the freedom to speak, fighting to stay awake. In the moments I can't take it, it's a choice if I'm gonna make it. Feel that shit. If you keep it in, that good grief will tear you down. Scream 'cause it hits so different. It come up so it can come out. Yeah, yeah. Coming up to come out. Okay. And that's
Yeah!
Good Grief.
Thank you. And what was that called?
Good Grief.
Good grief. And that was a Live with Ashley Live exclusive.
Yeah, it was.
Yes!
I was terrified, but I'm so glad that went well.
Don't be terrified. It's just you
Man.
and some other people, and you're all good.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sorry, I was in the moment. I didn't even look at the. I wasn't even.
You know, honestly, I prefer when my artists are in the moment and they close their eyes and they don't even know what's going on. Like that's those are the moments I live for, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Of course, of course.
Well, I'm so happy to share that with y'all. So that's coming to y'all soon. Don't you worry. And yeah, today was just one of those days with it being the anniversary of September 11th. And,
Yeah.
you know, I know that there's a collective feeling of or it has been a collective feeling of heaviness around the heart. Or even if you do feel sadness, sometimes it just feels a little bit more weighted, which is why I wanted to write that song, because it helped me lift it and brighten it up a little bit. So I'm really happy to share that with y'all.
Yeah, so much for being so honest and vulnerable and just sharing that. And I mean, when it's a vulnerable and very close song to you, which is, you know, it is a little bit terrible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but you know, you get scared because you care. I really care. Like I want, yeah. Thank you. Just
But hey, guess what? That's the thing. If you're scared though, it's because something inside of you is like, it's because you're near and dear to that. So that is okay. It's kind of like when people go on stage and they're like, oh my God, I'm terrified. I'm so scared. I'm so
I
nervous. And
still
it's
get
like, but
stage
you're
fright. Yeah, every moment. Right before I go on stage, I'm like, "Ugh." But once I'm up there, it's like, okay, never
exactly.
mind. Yeah,
Awesome.
exactly.
Second song.
Okay. So just to lighten up a little bit, also Stevie. I wasn't gonna do this song today, because I thought it was gonna be too high. Because I was feeling a little crazy, but it also turns out that I can do this the octave down, the first verse. So
Oh,
I can play. Yay. Okay, so I'm gonna play this one. And here we go. I want to dedicate this to my mom, my sisters, my aunties, my grandmas. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Oh, my nieces. And yeah, okay. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute old. I never thought through love it'd be making one as lovely as she. But isn't she lovely? Made for love. Isn't she pretty? Truly the angel's best. Boy, I'm so happy. We have been heaven blessed. I can't believe what God has done. Through us, He's given life to one. But isn't she lovely? Made from love. Now, everybody, just la 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 la. Woo, yeah. La da 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 da. Yeah. And I can't believe what God has done. Through us, He's given life to one. Isn't she lovely? Made from love. Oh, oh, yeah. All right.
hey, guys, give it up for Jordan.
Thank
That
you.
was beautiful.
All right. I appreciate
And
that.
can't go wrong with Stevie. Like
You really
everything he
can't.
puts out, I'm like, woo! The song
Kind of
rules.
classic, kind of hard to sing, but one of those guys that you just got to embrace it. He gives you so much room, so and also so many notes. So that's why I love Stevie. He gives me
Thank you,
plenty of
Lovey.
alternate
Thank you,
versions.
Tom. Thank you. Thank you. So, you have some time for some questions, Jordan?
Yeah, lay it on me.
Beautiful. So, guys, if anybody in the chat has questions for Jordan, please feel free.
Hmm.
Comments below.
I'm taking all questions, any and
What
everything.
What does success mean to you?
What does success mean to me? Man, I feel like I've answered this question in like in a bunch of different ways because it's kind of changed, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah.
What success would look like to Jordan today? Um, just to be able to do what I love to do and not have to worry, about like sure life will bring worries but I want to be able to be secure like knowing that what I love to do can keep me stable, can keep
Mm-hmm.
me healthy, can keep me moving. That feels like success. Anything after that, anything on top of that is just icing on the cake, and beyond that, once I'm good, I want to be in a place where I can help others, people that I care about, people that I'm close to, or people that have been through something that I'm familiar with. or that I can empathize with. That would be awesome. And I want to do that through my art. I want to do that through my gift. I want to do that because all I'm really doing is telling other people's stories just in my own way. As a vocalist, I'm a vessel. I'm a vessel of experiences and life, and being able to capture it and just put it to music, and
Hmm.
then put it back out. Um, I want to be able to do that
Yeah.
forever. If I can do that forever, I am successful. Like, that's
Yes.
that's what it means to me.
You got to do what speaks to you ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Hmm. Lovey wants to know, when will that original song be dropping?
Okay, so it was supposed to come out today.
Yeah.
Because it did not come out today, I'm still working on how to put it out sooner than later.
Yeah.
Within a month, give it to me. I'm learning. I'm new to this. I'm doing this all by myself. So
Yeah.
I'm just yeah. This is new. Like I'm so used to being the creative boy. So
Hmm.
being business and deadline boy, I'm definitely taking some knocks up against the head. But give me a month. Good grief will be out there. I promise. Just yeah. I want it out there. I want it out. I want to have this musical baby. Please
Yeah.
and thank you.
Stay tuned. It's
Hmm.
good. She also wants to know, do you have any albums currently?
I own no. I have been featured on a couple of different albums, both as a supporting vocalist and then just as like an actual feature.
Yeah.
Um, but no albums of my own out
Mhm.
for y'all to listen to just yet. But I feel like and this was an idea that I was toying with because I have literally my hard drive is just riddled with just things. So I had a concept of maybe just creating a SoundCloud playlist of
Yeah.
just the demos, like not super touched up, whatever is imperfect is imperfect. Like I don't really want to judge it, but I
Hmm.
also don't know if those songs will be songs that I go back to and put more effort or resources
Hmm.
into, but I
Hmm.
still feel like they should be heard.
Yeah.
So, if y'all think that's a good idea, if I should just, put the rough cuts out on a playlist and, y'all can decide, like that actually would be super helpful because I don't know. I've sat with a lot of this music for, a couple of years. Um, so,
I think you should put the rough cuts out because if you feel like you need to, I think it would be cool because people love to hear new music,
right.
even if it's not all the way finished. So I think it'd be really cool to
Hmm.
release it. And hey, if you release it, maybe re-release it 6 to 8 months from now.
Yeah. And that's a pretty popular trend. A lot of artists are going back and redoing their old stuff and putting it back out. I don't know if you saw, like, JoJo did that recently.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift redid a lot of her old stuff and put it back out. I know that was for label things, but I still like the concept of taking something in your old catalog and, you know, putting who you are now on it. Like it's almost like a live album, but obviously not live. It's just a reimagined
Yeah.
reinterpretation. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that would definitely be cool. And I know people want to hear the music because people are reaching out to you saying, "Hey, we want to hear you sing. Oh my gosh, we need to hear you sing."
Mhm. I want to give it to him, so I'm gonna stop fighting it. I'm gonna stop fighting funk. I'm gonna rock with it. And I'm just gonna say yes
Yes.
and learn that lesson. I think that's the next lesson for me. So just say yes.
Yes. Say yes.
Hmm.
That's pretty much it. So, Jordan, do you have any final words for the room?
Um, is that your final answer? I don't know. Be kind to yourself. Brush your teeth. Wash your hands. Um, Listen to good music. Sing along with it. Do what makes you happy. If you are looking for internet vocal consultation, hit me up because I would love to do that. I would love to, help other people who have goals vocally that you know, that just don't know where to look. Like, I'll be your point person.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I just think that it's so awesome to be able to have an opportunity like this to just talk a little bit about myself and things that I'm passionate about. See people that I know jump in the comments, and yeah, I would just really appreciate this. I hope that everybody that watched today got a little bit of something. I know that I am a little crazy, so I don't know what I don't know what y'all got from it, but I'm just happy to be here. And thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes. Well, I had so much fun with you tonight. Like, you've been so honest and vulnerable and sharing your music and telling
Thank
your
you.
story. You know, just keep on pushing and like shoot your shot. Like, don't give up. Like, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I think like that's so important.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. I'm gonna take that with me.
Of
Hold on,
course.
right here.
So, guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Jordan here. Go to Mosaic's TikTok page, stream the music, uh, follow, like the music, share the music. If you share the music in your stories, then people you know what you're listening to. And it's so awesome to put your friends and people you know onto good music because you never know who could potentially become a fan. So, guys, support good music. Follow Jordan if you don't already. He has a lot of good stuff coming up. And if
Yeah,
you love this interview tonight and you like good music and you want to support good musicians, please follow me. I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. And I interview musicians just like Jordan all the time. So, guys, give us both a follow. Have a safe weekend. Be safe. What else? Wash your hands
Be kind to
and
yourself.
spread love.
Yes. Yes,
Be
please.
kind to yourself. That's extremely important.
Hmm.
Kind to yourself. Lovey, thank you. Time, thank you. I appreciate your support. We appreciate your support. And just support good music.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Ash. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.